Good evening, Gooners. Happy Sunday. Oh, work in the morning. Great. Anyway, look, it's Arsenal played Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4, through to the fourth round. A little bit of a scare at the beginning there. I think I was a little bit shocked. I was a bit shell shocked for about 10 minutes when that went in, but we responded very quickly. Before we get into it, guys, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and get involved in the comments. I've got a few comments already from Charles, but we'll be talking through them shortly. Wayne, good evening, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, mate. Yeah, it was one of them games, wasn't it, where you wonder, oh, here we go. I don't think the way Portsmouth were and the way they were pressing, they were allowing the space, but from the get-go, their pressing caused that issue. And if you say as well, Noni wasn't on his toes, he got dispossessed, and then it created that action. I mean, again, as well, like someone said online and brought up online, it shows you the value of Raya. When if that was Raya, it wouldn't have bounced out straight to their striker to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't think Kepa had a lot to do or anything, but that for me was a bit poor. Because again, it went straight to the keeper, straight after the striker. Sorry.
I think in fairness to that goal, Wayne, I think he didn't see it till last minute, so it was sort of like a reflex save. But yeah, I mean, you should always push it around the post if you can, right? As a goalkeeper, you always taught that as a young age. But yeah, that as soon as he's done it again as well in the second half, didn't he?
Yeah.
But no, look, I think you expect us to beat Portsmouth. They had loads of injuries, but Joe, what I must admit, I was quite impressed with Portsmouth in the first 10 minutes because they didn't let us breathe, and it weren't the best conditions either. It was pretty windy. It was pretty horrible weather to play football in. But no, fair play to them. They made it difficult. I think our class just showed in the end.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, you look at it as well. I mean, there's a lot of things of what Havertz done. I mean, listen, I don't think I've said it on this stream, and I will maintain that I think that Gabby Jesus is that kind of, again, like a support striker, a winger type. He's not an out-and-out number 9. Havertz isn't an out-and-out number 9. We haven't utilised Gyökeres, and I don't want to be I don't want to talk about that. We've had enough. There's enough talk about Gyökeres. We've been keep going on. Today when Havertz come on, that just means now we've got another option, Tone. And as I said in previous streams, I mean, I've made a comment on X tonight, mate, and I've literally had about 100 sort of likes and people, because I've just said, look, Gyökeres can play with Havertz. You can mix and match them. If it comes to it in the game stage, you can have Havertz on, you can have Gyökeres on. Havertz winning the balls, being in that pocket, Gyökeres occupying the defenders. It might not necessarily lead to Gyökeres banging goals in, but it could lead to having Havertz having that relief valve, that guy up there, especially sort of like in the Wolves game, we were struggling, Brighton in certain aspects, Tone. And that's what I said. And I've had loads of people I've had a few people comment. But my point being is, like I've said quite a few streams ago, now Havertz is back. He's managed his load. He's come on for a 10, 15-minute appearance. Put a lovely through ball into Noni. That's what Havertz does. We know what Havertz does, And I'm saying, imagine that one runner is Gyökeres at times in certain situations. That's what he thrives on. Havertz can be that. If it's not working with Ødegaard, drop him deeper back, Tone, And all I want to say to those fans today, and whoever's watching in yourself, we got options. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah,
now.
It's not. It could be not this. This time last year, we had everyone.
We lost everyone, Tone, didn't we?
It was relying on Wanyeri and Marino to get us through games. So look, the depth of our squad is unreal, and I want to shout out. This comment here. Hello, mate.
Retroholic gamer. Good evening, my friend.
As much as I hate to admit, Havertz, come on, we looked a bit more fluid. He looked. We
will do, Tone. We will do, mate. He knows the system, doesn't he?
Fair play to the staff at Arsenal, because Jesus has come back, Havertz has come back. They look pretty sharp. They do look pretty sharp. And I think Gyökeres, I know we weren't going to talk about Gyök, but I think I'm going to have to, mate, because Havertz, for the 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so that he had, he done all right. He looked really good. And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, because Gyök doesn't look like he's clicking at the moment. Havertz, come on. Do you know, I don't know if you remember that last 10 minutes, that game where they did little flicks, 1-2s, and that stuff. I'm like, oh God, Gyök ain't getting back into this team, because it was so it was so like the link up play. You could just tell they got a connection. York ain't got that yet.
No, I mean the thing is as well, Tone, as well is it that highlighted exactly the problem with playing Gyökeres in this team at this moment in time because Havertz can just slot in, look as comfortable as he is because he hasn't left because we're set up for that. And listen, as I said as well, you need to look at there needs to be sort of like if you want it to work with Gyökeres, he's got to also put it in, but it's also you've got to look to help him. Like someone pointed out, and it's 100% correct. Sporting worked to the strengths of Gyökeres, and that's why he banged in almost 100 goals in 2 seasons. It might be a lesser league time, but they played to his strengths. Havertz comes in and Havertz drops deep, gets the ball, that turn. He's got, listen, this is a championship side by all means. We get that. But Havertz will do that in the Premier League. Havertz is more than likely to do that. As an, retroholic, as an inside the air. This is what I'm saying, mate. I've been having some debates on X, friendly ones. I'm not an abusive one, as I'm on here. I'm not. I just said to him, I said, I believe in what you said, Retro, and thank you, mate, because you're backing up a point I'm saying. He's backing up what I'm saying, Tony. That I think you can use that as an option, and I think as well, I mean this in all due respect, right? Gabby Jesus is not as great a finisher as Gyökeres. Gyökeres, given a half space, half a chance, half the time, a bit of time. Sorry, guys. A bit of time in that box, he'll put that ball in the back of the net. A confident Gyökeres. Jesus, I've got less confidence that he will. And I think Gyökeres is a better finisher. We know that. It's getting him in the positions. Get Havertz playing there. That was for me. I wasn't saying. I think I said to you on the as you very kindly gave me my preview. Yes, I was obviously occupied. I couldn't come on the stream last night. That's why I put him up there on the street like my 11. I didn't put Gyökeres in there because I wanted him to have a rest. I wanted him to just have a look and just go to the game. He had to be on the bench. I was screaming. I think myself, Havertz is on now. You're against a championship side, in all due respect. Why didn't you get Havertz on with a Gyökeres for 10, 15 minutes and let him play it? Because Havertz is a support striker, Tone. Havertz is a false 9. Havertz was signed actually to be a left 8, wasn't he? We see it and we was like, look, everyone's like, actually, he's not a left 8. As a left 8, Erdegaard controls, doesn't he, from deep, yeah? As a left 8, as I said, you can play as a support striker. You can assist that striker. He was playing, if you remember rightly, he was playing Rice, Erdegaard, Havertz. Then he had Martinelli, Saka, and Nketiah. Now, Nketiah, you can argue whatever, but he wanted to have that kind of striker. And the idea was to have Havertz support and Erdegaard to drop deep. Having Super Mendy means you can rotate them players, Tone. But I still think that there's certain games, matey, that you can play these two together and it will work because Havertz is primarily that kind of player, that box crashing player. He's fit in because Arteta's asked him to play that, Tone, and he's done a good job of it. I think we can, I think he can do that role if you need to later on in the games or certain situations. I think it could work, mate. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Martinelli today getting his hat trick?
Centre
forward play, mate. Centre forward play.
Did I say to you? I don't know if on that chat. You know what? I really had an inkling, right, that Martinelli would get an hat trick. I'm not. I just thought to myself, I think the boy could do with one. And apparently, as well, according to the stats, that's his first hat trick for us. For Arsenal.
Yeah. No, it is.
He got a lot of stick for the midweek time.
Yeah. Joe, what? It's good response, right? And I think that needs to be squashed now. I think there's a lot of the media's trying to hype it up. Joe, what? Klopp, respect to the guy. He even come out and said, look, he didn't know he was hurt like that. Yep. He wouldn't have done that if he knew if he was that badly hurt. So Joe, what?
He thought he was time wasting
because that was, So it's. Havertz off the ball though, York doesn't do that either. I still remember how Odegaard and Havertz used to incise the press and do defending from the front. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think as much as I don't want it, I think that Havertz, as soon as he's up to full fitness, I think York goes back on the bench. I'm afraid. Good evening, Power. How are you, mate?
Good evening,
that was the most
Jasper. Thanks, mate.
unmartinelli like hat trick. 2 headers, something like.
Yeah.
Look, he's a striker, mate. I'm telling you, he's a striker. He's a striker. He don't
listen. I mean,
again, Havertz, put him up front. Tenure, put him up front. He'll get you some goals.
You know what I think is. Well, listen, you've got options now. You've got multiple players that can play. Cheers, matey. That's what we're out here. There's no shouting.
There's no ranting there, mate.
There's no ranting. There's no AFT. We just please like and subscribe, my friend. It's what we do here. We like
the Gooner Booth. We're here to have a chat and we take all opinions. All
opinions are welcome. So please put them through, guys.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Listen. You know what? As well, in my opinion, and again, this is what it is. I think that people have obviously been bang on York, and it's like, no, he's not good enough. He shouldn't play again. He should play again. He's struggling, right? But if Havertz was not injured against Manchester United, right, and we haven't seen Havertz kick a ball or come onto that field since August 17th. Yeah, that's almost, what is it, mate? 4 months, 5 months now, almost 5 months, 4.5 months, right? Havertz is Mikel Arteta's preferred, whether you like it or not, his preferred striker, right? Gyökeres would have come on as a second choice and would have certain games that he might start, but Gyökeres would not be starting the amount of games he has. Yeah, he was coming into form. He's got injured. He's come back in, and he is the guy that Mikel wants, because he knows he's learning the press. He's not getting the goals that people want. He's not banging them in, but he knows the press, like Havertz does. Gyökeres would have had less stick, less people saying he's not good enough for this football club if Havertz was fit. Now Havertz is fit. You have different game states, different things. Go, right, okay, Havertz is on. I'm going to do it. He'll sit there and he'll go, you know what, actually, right, so I can sacrifice Subi, I can sacrifice Dex, and I'll put one of them at 6. I'll put Odegaard deeper. If Odegaard's having a bad game, you could put Eze on. We've got options, and the option can allow it. And that's what I'm saying. I in my opinion, York would have benefited from Havertz being fit, and that's the problem. He's constantly playing. He's trying to learn a system. He's trying to play to what Mikel wants him to play. Remember as well, as I said prior, Tone, playing every team he's played for, Coventry and Sporting, where the goals were coming, whatever level you look at the goals coming in, I get it. Premier League is a different level, yeah? But they were playing to his strengths. So now Havertz is back. You can mix, you can match, you can have them in there. It's lovely to have options now. But yeah, Havertz would have been, as much as it would have annoyed you, which I know we had conversations in the summer. Havertz would have been his number one starting striker, mate.
Yeah. I think I think that York needs. I think he should have played today, or he should have given him some play time. I think he should have brought him on with you. I think he will start at Stamford Bridge, York. I think he will, just because it's just the way he occupies defenders. But one thing that I picked up on today, and it really annoys me, when that poor guy is not on the pitch, they play to the style that he would want them to play to. How many through balls went down the middle today?
Don't. Please don't, mate. Honest to God.
Why is that? Where is that?
Why are you not playing that way with him on the pitch?
He makes them runs, but they don't do
does.
it. Now, I come up with a solution as well. Odegaard wasn't on the pitch as well. Did you notice he was a bit more direct with him not on the pitch? Eze didn't play. He played okay today.
He was quiet for quite a bit, wasn't he?
I thought Wanyeri was pretty good.
Wanyeri was very good.
He played a little bit deeper. And I'll tell you who surprised me today was Marino. He played that deep line role, and he was superb.
Tone, I didn't think he'd play him there, because I thought, you know what? Someone said, listen, when the first goal went in, I know I've said about obviously Kepa. Listen, they were pressing quickly. They come out the traps, and that's one of the things you don't want to do against a lower league team in the FA Cup. With the magic of the FA Cup is allow them to score first. But I think after that, we settled down. After 8 minutes, we were behind barely 10 minutes. Bang, goal. Yeah. Marino had a tidy game in there. Listen, He can play number 6. I mean, listen, number 8. He does leave a lot to be desired, but he can play a phenomenal false 9. The boy he's the definition
He's
of the
versatile, isn't
ultimate
he?
squad player.
Yeah, you got to give him some credit. He's versatile.
100%. Listen, mate. Listen, we said as well. But I still think he's a valuable player.
Very, very
Um,
good point. Just Pandy there. Look,
Thank you. Well
Odegaard
done,
found
Jasper.
Havertz in under 10 minutes, but hasn't found
100%.
Gyökeres in 1,000 minutes. Why is
Another
that?
thing as well, 100% Tone. Another thing as well, guys. Jasper, fact, that's a brilliant point. But someone brought it up on X again, and I mean, my phone. I do apologise if any of you guys are hearing a ping because I've made a couple of comments about Gyökeres and Havertz playing together. My X is going crazy, but I made a point as well. But someone brought it up as well that Havertz and Odegaard are coming on. But again, he knows. Do you know what I mean? They know. So that it's obviously it's ingrained in there. But he was looking for him, literally coming on. Odegaard, come on, he's looking for him, and you think to yourself, there's a famous one. As much as it hasn't been happening a lot, that there's a video where he had not once but twice he could have put Jokin in the Champions League game, and he didn't. And I don't know if it comes down to trust. I don't know if it comes down to whatever it might come down to. But you're right, Jasper. The moment Havertz come on, Odegaard was finding him, Tone.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
Weird.
It's crazy because listen, no one like I keep recommending and saying he does talk some sense and EBL on X, but like he was saying, no one is sitting here. He didn't say it. He said that it's the mentality of Gyökeres. His confidence is struggling, but he said he's not elite technically. He's not elite, in terms of goal and output, but it's his mentality, and it's he needs that opportunity. But if the team isn't playing at the top of their game, it's like Liverpool. He was frustrating. He was poor, but the whole team was, Tone. That second half was abysmal. That second half, Liverpool done nothing. They didn't have a shot on target, but we were poor. And then everyone's going, well, Yuck's poor. Get him out. He shouldn't play. And I know you was frustrated. You have your every in right mind for people to be frustrated, but there's fundamentals of it. But I do think, mate, as well, that obviously with Havertz now, the firing line can come out. People can say what they want to say, but in my opinion, what's going to happen, and I'm going to put it for argument's sake to you, that you get to a semi-final and Havertz misses a sitter, right? And you've got a player like Jock, who, if he's given an opportunity, full of confidence, by the way, because at the moment he's not full of confidence, he can put the ball in the back of the net. He can do that. But we've got difference now. You know what I mean? If Havertz will be hungry, and Havertz will be the next best thing for Arsenal fans right now, because he's different from Jock. How Jock is struggling. Jock is shit. Here we go. We got the saviour.
Yeah, I think Jock's become the scapegoat a little bit.
It is, Tone. Arsenal fans online. I don't know if it's online. Listen, in the stadium as well. That happens as well. Like you've been witness to. There's always got to be a scapegoat with Arsenal fans, and it's like, listen, we're right now in a look at it this way and put it into the bigger picture, which I was trying to say to people. Yeah, that's right. The signature, and thanks for they are. It's the familiarity. And Gyökeres would have benefited, as I've said earlier, thanks for joining the chat, that he would have benefited if Havertz was fully fit, Gyökeres, in my opinion. But look at it this way now, Tone, right? Gyökeres has got 7 goals this season, yeah? Whether it's been prolific, no, but he's got 7 goals, right? Look at the stats with Gyökeres playing. Look at where we are. Where are we, Tone? Right now, January the 11th. Where are we, mate?
We're top of the league.
6 point clear at the top of the league. We're in the semi-final of the League Cup. We're still in the FA Cup, which we haven't been for the last 2 years. We got knocked out at round 3, and we're standing a good chance of finishing top of the Champions League. Perspective, Tone. So it is. Perspective. Yeah, he's not set the world alight. Neither is the team. But now we've got a player that these boys know how to play with, Bones. So you can mix and match. And maybe, as I said to you before, like with Eza, where he's sitting on a bench and watching the play. He can have it. There's going to be a hungry Gyökeres because Havertz is there to take his place.
Joe, what you jumped on a point I was going to say. It's not a bad thing that Havertz is now back because it might give Gyökeres a little kick up the arse to go, actually, well, not saying he hasn't been trying, but it maybe that giving that bit. I've got to keep myself in this team now, so I need to do. You probably like a very good point here from just Panday.
That's a Jazz feed, definitely, mate. Yeah,
Against Liverpool, that ball went flashing across the box, and I'm like, why is he not finding himself at that? Why is he not trying to get himself around Van Dijk? And if you know that ball and missed it, you go, but you don't question it. But the fact that when it went across the box, you're like, where the fuck is he? Everyone in the crowd was like, where's Jokeres? Where is he?
It's you know what I think. I think as well is obviously it's a lot of the other three they are positioned. It is that, and I think what it is as well, Jazz is this is what I'm saying about you look at it today. Yeah, that ball from Jesus is a ball that goal that Martinelli put in is a goal that Jokeres has been scoring for Sporting. He's been scoring for Coventry, right? This geezer can do it. This level is the Premier League is a higher level. He needed to not be chucked in to the deep end so quickly, Tone. He needed to be given. There's always a 6-month kind of thing. Wenger always used to say it. There's a 6-month kind of adaptation period in the Premier League, and this is what I'm saying. Everyone's like, bang, bang, bang. We just needed Havertz, and Jokeres needed him. So I think it will help him a big style for this second half of the season to have players like he will benefit for Havertz being back 100%. So Eza needs more game time as well, Tony, from the left.
On this comment from Shwaya, right?
Yeah, go on, Tony. Get out, my friend. Go on.
I want to talk about Ranieri. Very good cameo. He's looking more like a first team player. And props to Ben White. He is so much better than Timber offensively. Joe, that's a very good point. Ranieri was good today. It was good today. And I think what you got to look at is there room in the squad for him? I think Arteta come out in an interview. I watched the interview afterwards, and they sort of said Ranieri, and he went that all the players in the squad have got a role this season. There's so much football to play. They've all got a role to play. They're all important. I don't know if it was being a very conservative answer, but I think there is questions of him going out on loan, but I also think they've come out and said that no, we want him to stay. We want him to get involved. So he needs more playing time. But no, he done well today. But that's all he can do. Sure, when he gets the opportunities, have a good game. Ben White as well, and I actually agree with that. He's slightly better than the Timber offense. I think Timber goes on these mad runs.
Yeah,
and one day he's going to get caught out. But very good point. Very good point.
You know what, Tony? It's such a shame.
Cheers, Malcolm.
Cheers, Malcolm. Exactly.
Sorry. We're being very, very positive. We're talking about.
I get you, mate. Exactly. But thanks for joining, my friend. We do appreciate it. Listen, you know what as well in regards to Timber. Exactly. The signature. You're 100% right. I think what it is this is exactly it. It is exactly.
Is that referring to York or
it's for York? Yeah. What it is, Ian Wright said it's that awareness, that movement. Even Rio Ferdinand, who comes out and says that Mikel Arteta is a manager that won't turn down a Man United job. Well, he will, mate, because he's coming to he's a manager of Arsenal. Evening, mate. Evening, Alf. You all right, mate? That was great. Alf, thank you, boy. You are 100% right. Your uncle that's exactly what I'm saying. And I think he needs to be taken a bit out of the firing line. He will play against Chelsea time, but when Havertz is fully fit, what's that one? Sorry as well, Retroholic. I mean, I get that. That's the thing. The problem is what I was going to get to.
He's not 100% consistent. I think that's been White's problem.
You know what it is, Retro. You know what it is. And Al, thanks, mate. And you agree 100% with what I'm saying.
Loving the comments, guys.
We love it. Benny White is fantastic offensively. Timber's better defensively. Well, you know what I mean? It's like having the perfect player, but you can't play. One thing I will say is if Calafiori and Hincapié are still out, that you could play Timber at left back and have Maraudin as a right back. That will be a phenomenal thing to do.
I was thinking that, Wayne, because MLS was a little bit shaky today. He looks like he's off the pace a little bit. He had a slightly better second half, but he got
MLS
tone today, and I'm like,
something's up with the boy tone.
He kept giving the ball away, and I was like, what is kind of like? He's not the MLS of last season. It's really, really strange. So I've got a feeling that he's going to get it. I think Calafiori and Hincapié need to come back ASAP, or we do that, put
Yeah.
Timber at left back and play Ben White at
Just for
right
now,
back.
I think Timber should. And Jasper makes a fantastic point here, and this
Yeah,
is what I'm saying, Tone.
yeah. Look,
Jasper, I think that Eza
he
should fight Trossard for that left wing role.
he he's
You know,
he wasn't that. He was okay today, but he
he
didn't
was quiet,
set it
Tone.
alight, did he? He was really. I would have thought he
No,
would have got at least a goal today. He
he
wasn't
was
that.
he was very withdrawn. He had a shot, didn't he, late in the second half that the keeper parried. Yeah, yeah. And Jasper, he was.
Yeah,
Listen,
he was.
when
It was
you know
worrying how
what,
lost he was today.
he more than likely doesn't trust him at the moment, Tone, as a central midfielder. But I just think right now you got to look at
I
it and
don't
go,
trust him as a left back, Wayne, either.
no.
After
Look when he
today's
come on against
performance,
Liverpool, you'll think
yeah, honestly, he got
Liverpool had the possession, but I thought, Jesus Christ,
Frimpong was
Frimpong's
burning
going to
him.
have him here.
He was
Frimpong's
quick.
going to have him.
He's a quick player, but I was like, come on, you've played against Real Madrid. You know,
Yeah.
you've played against top wingers. You know what they're going to do, especially the pacey and
Yeah.
the tricky ones. And he was struggling. He literally got burned.
I
and
don't
was
know.
worried.
Someone said, "Is he carrying an injury, Tone?" And Shuri, thanks again, mate. Guys,
Yeah,
the comments are
it's
fantastic.
right. It is what
It's-
this is the problem of having a big squad. Sorry, dude. This is the problem of having a big
No,
squad.
go for it, Tangle.
Don't get enough game time. This is the problem you're going to have. This is the only downside of having a big squad. When you do rely on, so we got two of our left backs are now out injured. MLS is our third choice. He's now been called upon, and he's not had enough game time to the point where he's out of form and he's struggling a bit. Maybe a bit of fitness, because you can train for hours on end. If you don't get any game time, it's a massive. The difference between training and game time is massive.
Yeah, I mean, his body as well, kind of saying, yeah, no, that's it, Alf. 100%, 100%, mate. He's listen, you don't turn up and you don't rock up to a football club to make the fact that Calafiori obviously was injured all year, but you don't rock up at a football club. You're playing Champions League semi-finals the way that boy did, and I think was it in against PSG? I think he kind of got a little bit rocked. But that's the first time I've seen him all season. MLS wasn't, he was scoring goals against City. He's when he's on it, his ability to turn away from a player, to use his body. He's one of those annoying footballers you can't get the ball off because he's used his body. He gets in front of him, he goes bang, 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 bang. He does the Jack Wilshere turn and he's off. It's just confidence with him. And as I say, it's tough. He's had a tough couple of moments.
The last game MLS played well in for me was Atletico Madrid, where he's not done one of them powerful midfield runs that he does. Things through the middle. Last time I see him do that was Atletico Madrid, where he set Martinelli up, where he put it he called it into the right call on restart finish.
100%.
The last time I've seen him have a good game, it's just like he's very rigid. I don't know if he's being coached that way or is Arteta making him.
What might be
freedom last season, wasn't he?
He had a lot of freedom. You know what it is as well? I don't know. Listen, I think the guy's come in and done a phenomenal job. Listen, you don't win stuff with Man United. I think obviously if there's something kind of Gabriel Heinz, he seems to be he coaches the defence as well, like when they're warming up before the game. Whether he's kind of said something to him and his whole approach to it has changed or not. This is not a blaming on Heinz, by the way. It's just about it could be just different interpretations of the role. But he got caught. He gets caught out. He got caught out a few times, and it keeps happening. And again, that game now, thinking like you got a bookend it, and you're thinking, But again, he's such a young kid, Tony. He's got the world at his feet, and there's the same with Ethan. But yeah, it can be tough when something happens. You're not in the team. Your confidence goes. It can be tough on the lad, especially at left back when wingers are, that inside ball, like when the midfielder's there and they play the ball between the centre half and the left back.
Yeah, they're hard to defend against.
Hard to defend against, Tone. Jack, let's read a Jasper, mate. I'll let you answer this.
Yeah, the problem was that they got games because of injury issues, but now with our new signings and injured players coming back, Ethan and Miles will get little game time. Yeah, they're
young, aren't they, mate? They're young, Tone.
The best way of thinking about that is, would they be in the position they are now if we didn't have the injury crisis that we did last season? Yeah. If you look at if you go back a season before, earlier last season, the first part of the season where everyone was fit, Nketiah and MLS were just getting cameo appearances, weren't they, in cup games as well? So it's only because we're sitting there going, oh, why are they not starting and why not getting game time? Is because we were so used to seeing them regularly because all the injuries that we had.
Yeah,
Saka was out long term, wasn't he? We had no backup there.
yeah.
I think we've gone back to the old. I think Arteta's managing their game time because they're still young. I think we forget how young these players are.
We have
MLS
to, yeah,
is what,
exactly, Tony. They're so
19? Is he
young.
19 now? MLS? He's got
18, 19, both of them,
he's
weren't
got a
they?
lot.
Do they're
They've got a lot to learn
even
still.
in
They've got a
MLS.
massive. They've got massive higher ceilings, and you've got to be very careful how you manage them. But yeah, I think MLS is better defender. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd have to challenge that. Sure, I think that he's. When I watched him live against Liverpool, he looked like he was struggling defensively. Like he didn't know what he was doing. And on the ball, his ball carrying ability, because he's naturally a centre midfielder, has also been lacking. Like today, a simple couple of passes, he was giving the ball away. He looked like he didn't know where he was half the time. His body language is really strange as well. He looks like he don't like he look. There was a moment where he took a throw. Like, let me know if you guys see this. I don't know if you see it, Wayne. Arteta was said something to him, and he went. Remember
Arteta
that?
was kind of,
He
yes.
said something
Arteta
to
was
him,
screaming
like
instructions.
it was like if he could, he would have gone, oh, fuck off. Excuse my language.
No, it looked like that. The body language. I get what you're saying.
No, but do you get what I mean? It was very like a disgruntled teenager going off.
Yeah.
Like his mum
But
telling
this
him
is
to go and fucking clean his room. That was the sort of
exactly. I mean, but that's what we do forget. And retro, that's the thing. And again, guys, keep the comments coming. As I say, we do appreciate. It's fantastic. The comments, and please keep them coming.
I think just to answer retro gamers, sorry, Wayne, to his question there. I think if I were, because we're in all 4 cups, I don't think Arteta will let him go out on loan, right? And especially because of the way we're getting injuries, I think that he's probably keeping him to one side. But I do agree. I think he should go out on loan, and I think he should go out on loan to a Premier League club.
He needs to play Tone every single game.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what it is. This lad in the England setup as well. MLS plays at left back when he's been in there, but Tuchel's gone, well, look, if he's not playing for Arsenal, I'm not going to pick him. Okay, mate, I get what you're saying. But this is the thing where it's either the role has to be found for him, Tone. Either he is a left 8 as he plays in the Arsenal youth team, or he's a left back. And there's times to this season when he's come on that he's not looked like a left back, not looked like an inverted. He's been struggling positionally and stuff like that. So he's got to find his role, whether that's a case of going out on loan. Listen, there's a lot. The Mark Gay talk is high, and I don't think it's so much about January.
Yeah.
But that is in as a free transfer in the summer. That could push him into the midfield.
That's not going away. That link, I
honestly think that we could be looking at that as opposed to and I think that move will push either MLS to a loan or push him into midfield. Shuri, thanks again, mate. I'll read this out to Tony, and obviously you can reply, mate.
Good point.
MLS is better when dealing with a winger like Madueke, who is a dribbler, but an Alanga whose pace, causing problems. But against PSG, he had that Dewey locked up. He did, yeah, exactly, mate. I agree with that. Yeah.
No, I think with MLS, you can't deal with raw pace. I think
that's it.
If they stop and then they go, I think he can't. He hasn't got that acceleration to keep up with a winger who's an explosive winger. And Joe, what? I've only played amateur football, I'm 35, and I was playing when I was 30, and I come up against an 18-year-old kid, and he literally, I was nowhere near him, couldn't catch him to the point where I was just kicking him, right? And it is hard. It is hard to keep up with.
It's a hard. I think it's a tough. Listen, I've always.
I thought he was quick. What surprised me on Thursday.
He's kind of lost a bit, hasn't he?
But I don't think Frimpong must be. He is quite rapid, to be fair to MLS. That burst of pace, as a fullback, it must be hard.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is we've been spoilt by MLS because he was so good.
He integrated.
Was he overachieving last season? Is that why we're like, we're not playing too well?
Listen, I'm going to go. I mean, guys watching. I mean, other than Alf, personally for me, what I thought of you and what your position should be. I always said to you, you should be up the pitch. You shouldn't be left back.
Not defending.
You shouldn't be defending. I mean that in all due respect, but I that's at an amateur level. With MLS, the left back. I said to you, the left back playing left back is such a tough thing. People don't realise what playing a full back is. It's such a tough place. he is a central midfielder who's been asked to cover left back and inverting to learn it. He's got time on his hands, but yeah, I think obviously depending on the squad building, and if you bring in like a Gay in, and Hincapie's injury is not too sad. I don't think obviously the club are going to lay out 40, 50 million for Gay in this window. What we'll try to do is say, don't join.
I think we can nick him for 25, mate. Because
if we can get him for a good deal, I'd have him now, because I think if Hincapie's struggling, if Calafiori's struggling, Gay will get game time. I listen. I liked Gay. We've been after him for about 3 years.
Plan at left back, dude. I wouldn't plan left back.
It depends, really. You could either have Big Gabby there.
They've made a good point last night. Go 3 at the back. Put them 3 at the back. And have two wing backs.
If you want to be a team that competes on all fronts, you have to sign a player like Gay. You've got Mosquera to cover the right hand side. Gay is the kind of player that you need to keep Big Gabby on his toes. Again, a Jazz for thanks, mate. I'll read this out as well. MLS has gotten a little spotlight to his head yet, which is not the case with Ethan. The amount and recognition that got in set, 100%.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly.
I agree with that, mate.
Yeah, it's got cocky. Yeah, it's got a little bit cocky.
It's got to his head. I agree with that. You can't argue with that. Yeah.
Any fullback struggles with pace. I think. Look at Wilcott.
Wasn't a great footballer. He was the pace, wasn't he?
Wasn't a great footballer. Yeah, his technique was never. He's a good finisher though.
He's a good finisher. He was just quick. He could not take his footballing brain. Couldn't get there, but if he got him in the right positions, Walcott was a fantastic finisher. He relied on his pace. That's what got him sort of through. But yeah, you're right, Retro, 100%. Yeah. And it's I mean, listen, you know what? That's why I said as well, like with Gay. I think that on the left hand side, people are saying, "Oh, we're not stockpiling defenders," but having Gay on your left hand side with Hincapie, Calafiori, Gabby gives you options, and that could also free up a loan or free up MLS to discover his position if it could be further forward. And that could only benefit in the long run. That we kind of play him more further forward in that kind of Declan Rice role. So yeah, it's very interesting, matey. But yeah, it's just one of them. He did have, he's a boy. I like him, and I just think he's struggling big style, But I was impressed with 1 year. Impressed with Moreno. Look at Norgard, Tone. Doesn't play. Doesn't come on. Does the job.
He was good tonight. That's why this afternoon. I thought he had a good job at centre half.
Just does the job, Tone. You want me centre half, boss? I'll play. You want me 6? I'll play. You want me right back? I'll play. Left back? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't even mind. No. He's just playing. He's happy to play, happy to be on the pitch, and that's just one of your solid backup play. It's like that Shields Gomondi kind of going back years, mate. To have that player that is not going to play, but he'll come in, he'll just do the job for you. Yeah. I need you to play this role today. Yeah, no worries, boss. What more could a manager want?
Yeah, I was shocked that he didn't have any defensive midfielders in there really today, did he? He had Moreno.
No, as I say, Moreno, you wouldn't think was a number 6, was you? But listen, he got the ball, didn't he, Tone?
He dictated.
Under pressure. Yeah.
I was really impressed with Moreno today, and he really shocked me because when I said at the start, I was like, "Oh, there's no holding midfield." I thought maybe I thought either Zubimendi or Rice would start today.
You know what, Tone? He obviously brought Subi to give a little bit more. I mean, Subi didn't have to come on, in my opinion, but I think he wanted to have a little bit more control just to help Moreno out at the back end of the game. We were 4-1 up anyway. But that's why I said in my preview on my 11 that I picked. That obviously I thought, if you're going to put Saliba and Gabby at the back, because I thought Norgard would have been in midfield. But listen, if we had Mosquera, we had Hincapie, Calafiori, Norgard will take up that number 6 role. So it would have gave a little bit of options. But I think injury kind of forces you back. And fair play to Norgard, mate. I think he just done what he had to do, mate.
Yeah. No, I think we'll leave it there. We've got the big game on Wednesday, semi-final of the Carabao Cup. I think he'll go full strength for that. I think that he'll sort of holding some players back for that. I think we've got a really, really tricky January, remainder of January to navigate. We've got Chelsea, then we've got Forest away, and I think we've got that home tie against Chelsea. I think if Stamford Bridge is a difficult fixture. in the Premier League, any cup game. Chelsea will be up for it. They've got a new manager now.
New manager to try
he's
to
going to be going for that trophy, so he's going to go full strength. We need to win the Carabao Cup. I think that's going to be the key.
We've had this discussion, Tony. This is the key. As silly as it sounds, could be the key, but I think it will be the key. Which game is more important for you guys? What is that in? What do you mean in a Jazz for? Would you say FA Cup or in terms of the? Or the
do you mean the Chelsea game or the Forest game?
Chelsea, yeah. I would say a Jazz for that. There's a few players that didn't really kind of, like, as I say, Noni had 2 assists, but I think there was time. Chelsea got thank you, mate. I think Forest.
We've got the squad for both. I do think against Chelsea, he's not going to go. I think, for example,
I wouldn't go full strength, Tone, but I would go strong enough. Yeah.
I think he'll go with. I think Declan Rice will start that game on Wednesday, right? And I think that you'll probably find that our back four will be, our starting back four, and I think our starting midfield. It'll just be the front attack that we've got loads of. Like he could probably go with Madueke again. He ain't got to play Saka. Jesus up front maybe, or even York. I'm not sure what he's going to do there. Martinelli on the left. I reckon he'll save Trossard for the Forest game.
I think, I mean, listen, Trossard was rested. Saliba was rested.
We're 6 points clear, right? And Forest away is not an easy game, right? And they'll be well up for that. But he's got a. I think he'll make a few changes, but we've got enough of a squad to manage that situation. I think Calafiori is not far from being back, so you might find
him as well, which could really help.
It's hard. I think both. He's going to take both. Important for me. If I was to pick one, I'd probably pick Forest.
Listen, right? I think if you go to Chelsea, Tone, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but if you get the play, what he's got to do is, I think, like, you know what I mean, like do like a 6-5, 6 players that be considered first team, 5 players that need the game, and go to Chelsea to not, if you get a draw, fair play. We have to win the Forest game, Tone. So the main thing is we're going to take Chelsea back to the Emirates in the second leg. So go there and get something. If it's a draw, 1-1, whatever it might be, just come away with a favourable result. Go to Forest, get the game, and then we haven't got I think it's February the 3rd. We got the second leg. Yeah. So it's vital that.
Just Penny on point, mate. Definitely. No, I think that the game against Forest is vitally important.
It's vitally important. Go to Chelsea, get a draw, Tone. Get a draw.
Yeah. Who have City got next, by the way?
There you go, boys. So Man United gone out today in the FA Cup. And it's Sesko at the moment seems to be banging goals in, so he's happy. So if this is they're away at Old Trafford, Tone.
It's a derby, isn't it? You can't. It's like us going away to Tottenham. Tottenham ain't been planned too great.
You can't. Yeah, as I say, Man City challenged at the top of the league, didn't they, Tone? Man United ain't. So you can read it. Retro. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I think obviously it will go as strong as he can. But I think obviously you have to. I think the main thing should be come away with a favourable result, which is obviously not a defeat at Chelsea. We need to kind of keep the momentum up in the Premier League. But we got the strikers now. It's defensively at the moment you worry because as much as you can go, let's put Benny White at right back, put Timber at left back. Benny White's his body keeps on letting him down. Timber keeps playing. He's phenomenal anyway. But he also needs his rest. So
I think Ben White kind of rotate on Wednesday.
Benny White does, Tone, but we need like, I mean, look, Nkapie could have a hamstring, Tone, so that could be anywhere between 2-3 weeks or 6 weeks to 2 months. So fingers crossed it's not. Excuse me. Fingers crossed it's not a bad one.
We miss
Calafiori. We are missing at left back. Big star.
Yeah.
Big star. Yeah.
I think the only thing is with City is that Semenyo sign is the last piece for Pep. City have re-strengthened enough to be able to consistently win games. Yeah, no, I agree. But I think that them. If they don't get a defender in, that's going to cost them.
That's what I'm saying, Alf. I think Semenyo can be Semenyo will be that attacking piece when they're struggling. But I think defensively City can be got at. Sorry, but yeah, you're right. I mean, listen. whatever I want to say, I'm not gonna keep on repeating myself. But the thing is with City, regardless of what happens and what people are forgetting about with them and their charges, all they do is look at them how much they can almost, they're 500 million in 1 year, you know,
Yeah.
and then they can carry on just spending, can't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, just Band suggesting that by the way, we keep losing players. We need a squad for. Yeah, we'd be Chelsea soon. The squad for would be in a big hall. About 40
Yeah,
players queued up. No,
yeah.
I do get your point. We've not been great.
No,
Not
listen,
been
the
very
Jazz.
lucky with.
You know what's annoying? You know what's annoying is you think to yourself, right? So we got in Capier, and Capier covers at left back and left centre back, right? Big Gabs is back, brilliant. Calafiori's gone down. That's all right. We got in Capier. Goes down. So now we've got MLS who's got to play at left back.
Yeah.
Calafiori, is he going to be fit? And you're like, for God's sake, just this is why what Tony's saying, and I have to agree with you, Tony. That if you're looking at it right now, Nkapie goes down with a hamstring, right? If Man City are obviously they've gone for Semenyo, boom, And by the way, guys, they've also
Did they
put
need
on the
Semenyo, mate? Did they need Semenyo?
they didn't need they don't need Semenyo, they need
If
defenders.
I'm a
But
City fan, I'm going get a defender in. Jesus Christ, that
they will
Kopenhagen isn't
struggle
up to
defense.
scratch.
Tone, listen, they won't as much as Diaz is good, but they're not world class players. Rodri can help you as a six.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
one.
not the same. Which has come back.
He's
He's injured,
had an
is he?
injury, but that defensively, you can only do so much. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're going to play him as centre half. But some of the fact they've lost Diaz and Gavardio and Stones is out as well. City are there to be got at defensively, so they can score as many goals as they want, but they will shit
They will
goals.
concede. Yeah,
They will
yeah,
concede, and some teams will catch them, a 1-2 punch, and they won't be able to recover. They will lose games, in my opinion, or even draw them. And I will be, if you're going for it, go all out for Gay. But in my opinion, I think we've said, I think Berta or, we've been after Gay for a while. And I think whether it happens this January, if it doesn't, and he stays at Palace, I think he'd be
yeah.
coming to us in
If
the summer.
if he goes to City in January, though, I will be worried because they've got a top-notch defender.
Like
And
I would have been
another
worried
attacker.
with Gay. I mean, listen, Canate and Van Dijk, but again, I thought I'll get them signing Gay. Liverpool's problems have not stemmed from defensively. They've
Yeah.
stemmed from attacking, and they've conceded silly goals. Yes, but their attack wise, they've struggled, haven't they? Yeah,
Oh yes, yeah. We
retro.
have forgot
I
about
do.
Villa. We forgot about
Listen,
Villa.
let's listen. In all due respect to them as well, we don't get Villa fans watching this channel, but you have to. The team that I think I'd rather be chased by Villa in all due respect than City, but I do think that City, having lost the players they have in defence, will struggle unless they pull something out with all the money they've got and they bring in the players.
That is the thing. Yeah, I was talking to Dave about this yesterday, and it is true. Where he's gonna would Dave give me a scenario if you've got City coming for you and Arsenal, and you've got Saliba and Gabs fully fit, and City like, well, you slot straight in, or even Liverpool. He's going to play over Canate next to Van Dijk. It does make it. You do look at it and go, how are we going to persuade a guy of that caliber who's first choice for England to come to Arsenal and go, well, you might get some game time. We can't guarantee it because we've got two of the best centre halves in Europe.
I want to put a scenario for you, Tony. I'm going back years ago. How did we?
Yesterday. Go on, mate. Go for it.
No, sorry. Listen, mate. I just want to listen. I know you know anyway because of what he played. But for those watching, and listen, that's a good point, by the way, Jazz. For listen, we're not here to argue the point. I want Gay in terms of position. Putting MLS as either out on loan or into midfield. Right, but look at it this way. Yeah, if you had big Gabs and you had Saliba, right? Martin Keown, when he was an Arsenal youth player, we sold him to Everton. I think he's played for Aston Villa, right? And in 94-95, we signed him back, right? How did we convince Martin Keown to come back with Stevie Bold and Tony Adams in the defence? You know what I mean? He went, I want to come and play for that football club. If Mark Gahey wants to play for this football club, he'll want to come. Playing for Man City when there's, as I say, there's been no verdict, no one said anything else. Semenyo's got a sell-on clause as well, so he's gone in there to try to for whatever reason. I don't know. I think the boy's stupid, to be honest. He should have gone Liverpool. We don't need him. We haven't got the space for him. We're struggling to get Wanyeri into the team. We don't need Semenyo, but I still believe Semenyo can be a quality player. Fair play to him. But Mark Gahey has to come in there as a footballer and go, well, I like the project. I'm playing Champions League football. There's no, I mean, at what point do you, as a football player, you go, right, okay, so how are City, this is what my argument was, Tone, how are City signing players like Semenyo with 115 plus charges on their back and no one saying anything? And these players are going, I'll sign for you. Because how do you know? Unless they've gotten away with it, a player like Mark Gahey, is he going to go? Yeah, I'll play at City, but are City going to be in the Premier League next year, or are City going to have a point deduction? Or does he go? Do I go to Arsenal where I like the sporting project and is he man enough to challenge?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Can he do it? And it swings and roundabouts, Tone. But for me, as a footballer, I just can't see unless the Man City going, but yeah, we're getting out of it. Whatever it is, how can they carry on signing players when they've got these charges that have not been sorted yet? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It really confuses me, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's money talks, mate. That's what I can say on that subject. That's what I keep saying to myself in the whole City situation. The point Jaspender's made, yeah, if he pays, stays at Palace till the summer, Madrid and Barcelona coming. Yeah, if we want him, we have to pay for him now. That's all I'm going to say. In the summer, we won't get him. It'll go to
that's
another club.
Yeah, listen, there's a tough one, Jazz. I mean, Yeah, no, listen, it's Gahey has been followed by us for a while, but as I say, one person I believe in retro. He does if he's going to put something out there. So while like Semenyo, and he put it out there, and I thought, yeah, Semenyo's going City. Then David, what's his name? Thank you, Tony. David Ornstein, right? If David Ornstein tweets and says something, then you have to believe it. And we are genuinely, obviously, interested in him. It could be an area that he can improve. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at it that if you was to with MLS people view MLS as a left back currently, right? He's coming in and he's struggling at left back. But if you've got Mark Gahey in there, as much as you can understand the play and big gaps is always going to be your starter, but what kind of thing can you do to change the manner? Can you go in there and play? There's always going to be an opportunity to play. Whether you sit down, you look at like Norgard is a different aspect. He's coming to the end of his career. But Mark Gahey he's got choices at the moment. If I go to Liverpool, Van Dijk is on the left centre back, isn't he? Yeah. So Van Dijk's there, fair enough. Do I challenge at Liverpool or do I challenge at Arsenal? He was going to Liverpool. But if we're serious, you want to have a set of players for every position that you can come on. Man City have got Gvardiol, they've got Kusinov, they've got Diaz. They've got Stones, they had 2 quality players for each position, and I personally believe that MLS will play further forward in this team in years to come. Now, if you've got an opportunity with Mark Gahey, whether you get him in January or you've got him on a because listen, I know what you're saying, Jazz, by the way, I'm 100% I'm with you. But if Arsenal come in and say, all right, Mark, listen, stay in, do what you got to do at Crystal Palace, come join us in the summer, come and challenge, or we give him a good sporting opportunity, you're going to have Calafiori and Capia at left back. You're going to have Gabby and Gahey at left centre back to cover. You're going to have Mosquera and Saliba at right back. At right centre back. You're going to have White and Timber so far at the right centre back. You've got 8 quality defenders that you shouldn't think that Big Gabby will keep his place. You shouldn't think other people will. It's the challenge, Tone. You know what I mean?
I agree with your point, but for here, he'll have to prove himself to get him in teams like Barcelona, Madrid, Bayern. He'll be the main man in the back line.
Yeah. I get that. Listen,
I think Bayern's just signed. Not just signed him, Upamecano.
They got Upamecano, yeah.
Upamecano. He just signed a new contract, so I don't think they're going to be in the running for Gahey now. I think they've dropped out with that.
as I say, you have to. It's one of them where if you're signing in Capier at Jasper, you kind of think to yourself, right? Well, you've got Calafiori. Calafiori's can play centre back, left centre back. So can Capier. Sometimes, listen, it could be greediness. I get what people are saying, but it's also one of them that it's. If you want to be a football club that competes on all four fronts, you have to ask the
Yeah,
question. Whether listen, I haven't got a crystal ball. I haven't got I'm not Mystic Meg, you
but
know what I mean, of Arsenal fans.
one
I'm just
thing,
saying to be in for a player like that, Tone, you have to ask
yeah,
the question,
the one
and
thing
you
I
have
will
to see
say,
if you
Wade,
can.
is Berta's actually got a track record of doing these sort of things. So
Yeah,
I think when he was at Atletico, he signed Griezmann before Real Madrid could get to him. So
yeah.
he has a track record of signing these players to stop. So, like for example, in this
This is what I'm
situation,
saying, Tone.
to stop Man
City.
City from signing him, because if they do sign him, that's a
If
game
they
changer for
sign
them.
Gay, he will improve them tenfold. Right now, City are there to be got at defensively, aren't they? So you're
Yeah,
right, Tone. You listen. We have to. We've been moaning, and a Jasper. Listen, mate. This don't. Please don't take. And the guys watching, please don't take any. This is a hint, a hit, or you know. I don't mean any disrespect. What I'm saying is what you're getting at, Tone, is exactly what we should be. We cannot act like a small club anymore. Yeah. City
yeah,
want him. You know, look, Semenyo. I think we should have got Semenyo, but we've got players that can play left wing. Do we need him currently? No. Could we get him in the summer? Yes. He didn't want to wait to the summer. He wanted to go to City. He's got his big payday. See you later, Semenyo. You missed your opportunity. You're an Arsenal fan and you've gone straight to City. That's his issue. That's what he wants to do. Gay is there, and if City are after him, you have to go right. Hang on. And Berta's got to come in here and go, look, and he's got to convince him. And as you say, it is going to be a struggle. But we had three of the best centre halves in the English game competing for the roles in Baldy, Adams, and Keown. You know,
yeah.
you have to do that. You look as well as the Invincibles, Tone. Right? What was our defensive depth in the
Well, we
Invincibles?
had what Colatore, Campbell,
And we had Pascal Sigan, and we had an
and
aging
Sendor. Yeah,
Martin Keown. Now, Martin Keown was an absolute legend, but Martin Keown was 36, 37, coming to the end of his career, right? But we didn't have the defensive depth, really. Campbell being fit for most of the season was fantastic. And obviously, Sigan did come in and do decently, but not. Sigan was not a great defender. We all know that. We cannot have a situation where you're getting these players injured and you haven't got the right players to cover. Marley Salmon, whether he's going to be a right centre back or right back, come on today. He's one for the future, but he's one you can look at and go, right, with Benny White, if Benny White's going to be moved on, Marley Salmon could be promoted. MLS can be pushed further forward. You know, this is an opportunity, you know, take the punt. See if you can see if you know if Mark Gay doesn't want to come to Arsenal Football Club, he won't come to Arsenal Football Club. But if he's willing to challenge and fight and be a part of the squad, then I think he'll be a valuable player. And you got to get them kind of players in town. You got to have that depth, you know, if you want to go far
yeah,
and you know.
yeah. And
Go on, mate.
I
Read that one
think
out there, Bones, from a
yeah,
Jasper. Go
got
on.
yeah, that I can agree with. We have to act like a big club. We should also take players from the big size, from the big side.
Yeah,
United is still our
they
players.
did.
Now we start. Yeah, no, definitely.
We can't listen. This is it, Tone. And sorry, mate. I
I
just
mean, big six, not big side. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I'm
No, we
just
get you. But we
yeah, yeah,
listen, mate.
yeah.
We can't be thinking of that as fans anymore. We've been battered. We've been abused. We've had look at we were Banter FC for God knows how long. And I've hit it like I've been hitting it like up since I'm blue in the face
You
with the squad depth. Mustafi's, the Holdings, the Chambers. Our whole. Did you remember? Literally our title challenge went and rested on Holding because Saliba was
mm,
out. If
yeah.
Saliba goes, can you find a space for a Gay, for argument's sake? Can Mark Gay cover that right side? I know he's a left based on it, but
Do you
you need
think
these
that?
players, Tone.
Do you think there's a thought process here from Arteta that Real Madrid might come sniffing around Saliba in the
100%.
summer? That's why he's sort
100%.
of covering his arse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Havertz is getting, I think it's just like a year
getting paid too
extension at
much, mate.
Jasper.
That's what he's getting.
But you know what, as well, Tone? I've heard obviously Saka's got his new contract. I don't know if the club's officially said it, but David Ornstein's confirmed
Not
it.
been announced yet, has it?
Timber, Rice, Erdegaard. I don't know if it's Martinelli as well. But listen, you know, you got to get these players like Timber and Rice. Definitely, they need it now after Saka. But yeah, listen, you know, it could be a far-fetched thing, but if we're in there, you have to stop these teams. If Mark Gay is interested, depth is thoroughly important for
One
what you
thing I
want to
say
do.
about Mark Gay, Wayne, is as well. Some people don't figure stuff like this. He's playing for Crystal Palace. We're the only London club that's looking at him. Right?
Tone, well done.
Yeah, because you got to
I
look at stuff
forgot to
like this.
say that.
It's a lot
Would
easier
he want
for
to
him to.
uproot? Would
Yeah,
he want to
look at
uproot?
Declan Rice. Declan Rice had City and us in for him. Big part of that was they don't disrupt your family. They can go to another London club. And his lifestyle
Yeah.
doesn't change. So that would be
Right.
another big thing.
Listen, Real Madrid and Barcelona, the weather out there is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, Bayern, Germany as well. Bayern could be, you know, but listen, if you don't want to, you know, you're a London lad, you've grown up in London. He's come from Chelsea, and then Crystal Palace have bought him. If you're settled, if your roots are in London, you know, and the London team's interested in you, you know, listen, mate. As much as I get what people are saying, but if there's anything about you, coming to that Arsenal club, coming to that football club, go, all right, I'll join you. I'll come in and challenge. I'm not here to make up the numbers. I'm here to challenge for a starting spot. It only breeds better, you know, better game, you know. So I'm all for it, Tone. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Cool. We've been on for an hour. I
Yeah.
think we should call it there. One last comment of the evening for Just Bennett. Arteta needs to call Gay. I need to know what he says to players. Everyone wants to come. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Listen.
Good
Tone,
salesman, mate. Good salesman.
you know what it is listen, we know we're at a point now where we as a football club are an attractive proposition, and there's no way that Mark Gay is not going to be sitting there going, you know what, though, if Arsenal are interested in me. And one thing that also swung it for me a little bit in terms of the fact that I thought he might have an inkling is when Crystal Palace come back in the Carabao Cup, he didn't celebrate. And then after the game finished, he was talking to Madueke, talking to Saka, and they're doing this.
Mm.
You know, now I'm not saying that there's, you know, but what I'm saying is he did not celebrate, right? If he didn't give a crap about Arsenal Football Club, because let's be honest with you, there's been talk as well. He's been interested. So listen, you know, we as a football club, you have to sign the best players if you want this project to go bang, and he will add vital depth in that centre back position. So yeah, as I say, it's an attractive project, isn't it, mate? That's it, my fogging manager. Go on, Jasper. I love it.
Cool. On that note, we'll call it there, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please smash a like on the video. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. We're back on Tuesday. We're going to be previewing the Chelsea game. That's a massive game at Stamford Bridge. But yeah, other than that, guys, enjoy your Sundays. And if you're at work tomorrow, have good days, and we'll speak to you on Tuesday. Please
Thanks for joining, guys. We appreciate it.
Have a good one. Take care.
Take care.